as far as the recovery effort goes, how can we, as normal people, get involved and be a part of this plan that you're talking about?
One of the best ways to get involved, obviously first, I have to preface, is have a personal plan for your pets, because then you are not burdening first responders or having a situation where you have to evacuate and you could be separated from your animal. The next is, if you want to get involved on a sheltering and recovery effort, is really to, outside of just locally being a volunteer for a facility that you have in your area, is to become an animal rescue volunteer with the HSUS. We do regularly incorporate volunteers throughout the country to come and help us with sheltering and animal care. And if you go to our website, which is www.hsus.org, and you type in animal rescue volunteer, it'll take you directly to the page where the application process is. There are some prerequisites to be able to deploy and a training program that we provide, but you can literally be somebody without animal care experience and come and join us.
And about how long does it take to go through the prerequisite process?
It's really a self-paced program, because some of them are online courses that we ask you to take. So it could, a highly motivated person with a lot of time can do it in a very short amount of time. And for those of us that are working around maybe a regular structure of life and a full-time job, it can take longer.
Okay. And what if I wanted to be a person who devoted my life to showing up at rescues, showing up at disasters whenever they happened? What's sort of the second level above the volunteer?
Well, on a professional scale, there's obviously inclusion, again, at your local level. So if you wanted to do this permanently and serve your community, you would become part of your animal care and control community professionally. So you would go and maybe get a job at a shelter and be able to be exposed to the animal care and control world. But in order to do it professionally, and I stress that this is a profession, and that people who do deploy are doing so under the authority of the Office of Emergency Management. If you are legitimate, you are not self-deploying, and you're coming with an entity that has been asked in. And there are certifications in swiftwater rescue, technical rope rescue. You can pursue those certifications on your own. They're offered by several different agencies like Rescue 3 and Wave Tech, and you can research those things and pursue those certifications and be financially responsible for them. You can also see if there's continuing education through the agency you work for to be able to get those certifications. But anybody who's deploying on a national scale for a national agency has those certifications, and and also some vaccinations just to be able to handle wildlife and disaster situations,
things like that.
Tetanus, hepatitis A and hepatitis B, pre-exposure rabies, things like that.
So it's like you said, it's a profession. It's something that you spend time learning.
And again, the animal care community is very varied. So there are some animal care and controls that are associated with law enforcement. There are some that are their nonprofits. So if you look at people who have come into the animal care and professional community, they've come from different sources, but all organically, potentially have come from either a veterinary care background, so they're either a veterinary technician or a veterinarian, have been a humane law enforcement officer, have been an animal care and control officer, perhaps they've been working on a working ranch their whole life. It just depends, but there is definitely an animal husbandry component and a necessity in terms of humane handling to at least have that be a base to getting your foot in the door. And a lot of individuals that are motivated, that have even the background, it is a very specialized field. It's not like there's a lot of agencies offering that as a profession outside of your local entity, which is where you would be included if there was a local disaster for you.